In 2020, before the pandemic, I was studying abroad in Spain. I was having fun time with my friends, traveling all across Europe. I went to places like London. I was exercising regularly. I was socializing quite regularly, going to clubs, even occasionally drinking, smoking the ganja every now and again. Okay, wasn't illegal, folks. Don't arrest me. Who knew the tsunami that was about to hit me, though? In that March, I never tested positive, but I highly suspect that I had COVID. Some of my symptoms were that I was super tired. Like I slept for 12 hours a day when I got this mysterious viral illness. I even had night hallucinations. I had cough, I had fever, so many things. However, I get home, as in home is the US for me, and I recover. I felt mostly fine after. I'm back to walking, I'm back to biking. We're in quarantine, so I'm not going out or anything, but I feel mostly fine. But a few months later, in that August, my stomach starts hurting like crazy, like crazy. I see my doctor, I take some tests, and I find out that I have acid reflux. So they put me on a bunch of meds. Omeprazol's one. I forget the others, to be honest. But these meds don't really help that much at all. And so for a year, I'm living with this crazy stomach pain, and I'm doing all the right things to avoid my acid reflux, which is not eating right before bed and avoiding acidic foods like tomato, onion, spicy foods, etc. Still, acid reflux persists. It wasn't until my gastroenterologist puts me on pantoprazole that I get my acid reflux under control and everything's good. And this is when things are reopening again. So I'm going out again, I'm going to restaurants, I even go to some clubs. And in July 2022, I take a trip to Montreal with my friend Noah. And a few days later, I test positive for COVID again. Okay. My symptoms were mostly mild at first, fever, cough. But then a few days later, I get these heart palpitations, which is basically I feel my heart beating. It gets especially triggered when I lay down. And this feeling just doesn't go away, even after a few days. I contact my PCP about it at first, and they say, oh, sometimes your fluids are just changing after a viral infection. Talk to us in a few weeks. And then a few weeks later, the issue still persists. So I take an EKG. I take one of those Zio patches. I even see a top cardiologist at Brigham. They really don't have any answers. The EKG, none of the tests find anything. So they don't really have any answers for me. Even one of my doctors says, maybe you're just going to have to live with these heart palpitations for the rest of your life. And on top of that, my acid reflux gets re-triggered, so my gastroenterologist puts me on another med to control the reflux, which helps here and there. And then a year later, I start getting brain fog, and the brain fog manifests for me as memory issues. So I forget things a lot easier. And this feeling of forgetting things that you should know is a terrifying feeling. So I have so much sympathy for people with dementia and everything. It's a terrible feeling. I start reading lots of articles, trying lots of supplements, turmeric, resveratrol, cinnamon. I even tried this vagus nerve stimulator. Nothing really helps too much at all. Nothing really helps too much. And I'm still having this brain fog, but I suppose it's manageable at this point. It's definitely not fun, but it's manageable. Fast forward to July 2024, I get COVID again. This time, it triggers this crazy screen sensitivity for me. So when I look at certain screens, I get a headache, I get nauseous, I get brain fog. And then I'm just more tired. I just sleep more. I don't have the tolerance to do work like I used to. And I just have a feeling of inflammation in my head all the time. I even get a tilt table test through Leahy Clinic, and I'll put the results up here. It was definitely an irregular test, but the doctors really didn't know what to do with the results. They put me on a beta blocker, okay? But the beta blocker really didn't do too much for me. And then I tried things like acupuncture, SGB block, numerous meds like a herpes antiviral, antihistamines. All really didn't do too much. I even tried this thing called the Safe and Sound Protocol, which is you listen to music, and it's supposed to stimulate your vagus nerve. That really didn't do too much. Only things that did help were first off the LDN, which is low-dose naltrexone. It's an anti-inflammatory immunomodulant medicine that's pretty common in long COVID circles. It definitely helped me with the memory issues. Resting has definitely helped, so getting enough sleep every day, definitely scaling back on work, like my podcast, my wedding photography, which is what I did before. Scaling back on that's helped. Herbs have helped with my acid reflux. I've seen an herbalist recently who's helped me with that. And just like not getting infected with even like colds and non-COVID illnesses, let alone COVID. That's even helped, just letting time pass. Fast forward to today, and I have slowly but surely gotten better. I'm still not 100%. I still have my brain fog. I still have my palpitations. Even have sleep disturbances now, but I have gotten better, or maybe I've just learned to manage better. Who knows? I mask in indoor crowded areas still. I do nasal sprays that are said to prevent COVID, even just studies. There's no confirmation or anything. I keep up to date with all the vaccinations. And yeah, I am Adam Liu. I'm one of the faces of long COVID.